A very good evening to you and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios in Colombo. My name is Krishan Devasagaya.
And I'm Umekra Bekon. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
MOH divisions at risk of dengue rise to 112. Over 45,000 dengue cases reported island-wide, with Maharagama recording the largest outbreak this year. Sirasa given nutritional supplements despite refusing food. Transport authorities allow vehicles manufactured without seat belts to use expressways for another 3 months. 11,790 students secure straight A's for GCE O-level exam. Israeli strikes kill at least 16 in Lebanon amid ceasefire reports.
And in your top stories tonight, we take a look at some sports news where glory was brought to our motherland. Now, Rumesh Tharanga, who has taken Sri Lanka to the international stage in javelin throw, returned to the country earlier this evening after a successful tour.
Now, his achievements on the tour included victories at the Rome Diamond League Athletics Championships, the Ostrava Golden Spike Athletics Championships and the Doha Diamond League.
Rumesh Tharanga, who has taken Sri Lanka to the international stage in the men's javelin throw event, arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport this evening. He was warmly received at the BIA.
Commonwealth Games එකේ හෙළවෙසි කිරීම නිසා ලංකාවට මෙඩල් එකක් ගේන්න තමයි ඊළඟ බලාපොරොත්තුව තියෙන්නේ. ඩයමන්ඩ් ලීග් තරඟාවලියේ තිබ්බ එකම මෙඩල් එක මම අරන් ආවා ලංකාවට. ඒක මම අද කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඊළඟ තරඟාවලි ගොඩක් තියෙනවා මේ අවුරුද්දේ World Ultimate Championship සහ Asian Games සහ Commonwealth Games. ඩයමන්ඩ් ලීග් තරඟාවලියේ ෆයිනල් එක තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔය හතරෙම ගෝල්ඩ් මෙඩල් හතර දිනා ගන්න තමයි මේ අවුරුද්දේ තියෙන එකම බලාපොරොත්තුව.
සෙන්ටිමීටර් 40ක් මදි world number 1 වෙන්න. මොනවද ඉදිරි සැලසුම මේ 40 ඉස්සරහට දාගන්න?
Commonwealth Games එකේ අනිවාර්යයෙන් මට ඒ දේ කරගන්න පුළුවන් world number 1 වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ඒකේ මම top 3 top 2 top 1 අතරට આવත් අනිවාර්යෙන් world number 1 වෙනවා. සහ සෙන්ටිමීටර් 30කින් මිස් වුණා ඒෂියන් රෙකෝඩ් එක. ඉතින් ලොකු බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියෙනවා මේ අවුරුද්දේ ලබන අවුරුද්දේ අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒෂියන් රෙකෝඩ් එක බ්‍රේක් කරන්න.
Rumesh won first place in the men's javelin throw event at the Doha Diamond League tournament held yesterday. The performance he displayed there was 88.68 meters. This was the second Diamond League stage that Rumesh participated in. Competing against many of the world's leading elite athletes, he managed to push Grenada's Anderson Peters, who displayed a performance of 85.99 meters, into second place, and USA's Curtis Thompson into third place. Former Olympic and world champion Neeraj Chopra had to settle for fourth place. At its Rome stage, Rumesh won the event by displaying a performance of 92.62 meters, setting both a tournament record and a Sri Lankan record. Recently, he also managed to win first place in the javelin throw event at the Ostrava Golden Spike Athletics tournament held in the Czech Republic. According to the international rankings for the men's javelin throw, Rumesh Tharanga currently occupies the second position.
In a headline-making story tonight, the results of the 2025 GCE Ordinary Level Examination were released last night. 225,748 students have qualified for the Advanced Level Examination.
The Commissioner General of Examinations, Indika Kumari Liyanage, said that this accounts for 73.16% of the candidates.
The 2025 GCE Ordinary Level Examination was held from 17th of February to the 26th of February across 3,547 examination centres. A total of 405,015 candidates sat for the exam. Among them, there were 382,249 school candidates and 69,214 private candidates.
99.91% of the registered candidates sat for the examination. 225,748 students qualified for the advanced level, which represents 73.16%. The number of school candidates who obtained A passes in all subjects was 11,651, accounting for 3.7%, while 139 private candidates also achieved A passes in all subjects. When combined, the total of 11,790 candidates, representing 3.57% of the total, achieved A passes in all subjects. There was also a group of students who failed all subjects. Among the school candidates who sat for the exam as first or second attempts, 7,419 failed all subjects, which amounts to 2.36%.
According to this year's exam results, the Southern Province records the highest number of students who qualified for the advanced level. As a percentage, that is 75.56%. The Western and Eastern Provinces both recorded a 74.42% pass rate for the advanced level. Meanwhile, the pass rates for the other provinces are as follows: 74.31% from Sabaragamuwa, 73.98% from the Central Province, 71.34% from Uva, 70.69% from the Northwestern Province, 70% from the Northern Province, and 68.39% from the North Central Province. The Commissioner General of Examinations said that compared to 2024, pass rates for several subjects, including science and mathematics, have improved in 2025.
The pass rate for English is 73.57%, while the pass rate for history stands at 81.93%. This year, the pass rate for science is 70.11% compared to 69.07% in the 2024 ordinary level examination. Similarly, the pass rate for mathematics in 2025 is 72.03%, up from 71.6% in 2024. Notably, there has been a significant increase in the pass rates for both second language Tamil and second language Sinhala. The pass rate for second language Tamil is now 97.51% compared to 95.71% last year, and the pass rate for second language Sinhala has reached 91.03%, rising from the 90.21% recorded in the 2024 examination.
Meanwhile, the results of 314 candidates have been withheld due to exam fraud and various irregularities.
How can you access the results of the GCE Ordinary Level Examination?
Commissioner General of Examinations Indrika Kumari Lenage said that the results can be accessed by visiting www.doenets.lk or www.results.exams.gov.lk. All school and private candidates can visit the online exams.gov.lk/EIC website or download their result sheet by entering their national identity card number. The Department of Examinations added that all school principals can also visit the same website to download and print results sheets for their schools by using the username and password provided to them.
How can applications for recorrection be submitted?
The Department of Examination stated that they will begin accepting applications for recorrection starting on the 25th of this month. Candidates can submit their recorrection applications via the online exams.gov.lk/EIC website until the 8th of July. The Commissioner General of Examinations also provided some details regarding the upcoming examinations.
Preparations are underway to conduct the 2026 Advanced Level Examination from the 10th of August to the 5th of September. The Grade 5 Scholarship Examination is also scheduled to be held island-wide on the 9th of August. Furthermore, arrangements have been made to hold the Information Technology Examination for Grade 12 students on the 24th of October. Plans are also in place to conduct the next Ordinary Level Examination from the 8th of December to the 17th of December 2026, with applications for that exam expected to be called during the first week of July.
මගේ මේ රිසල්ට් එක ගන්න මට ගොඩක් උදව් කරා ඉස්කෝලේ ගුරුවරු විෂයන් 9ව පාස් වෙන්න මට රිසල්ට් එකක් ගන්න උදව් කරපු ඔක්කොටම ගොඩක් ස්තුතියි. හැමදාම වැරදුනා. මේ පාර නම් ජීවිතය හදාගෙන මෙහෙන් හදාගෙන තමයි යන්නේ.
These are 2 students who passed this year's GCE Ordinary Level examination from the Wataraka Sunitha Vidyalaya. The Wataraka Sunitha Vidyalaya is a special school established for the education of young inmates in Sri Lanka's prison system. This year, 6 students from the school sat for the GCE O-level examination, and all 6 have passed with good results.
These students who are sent to us have different educational backgrounds. Some have a good foundation, while others are at a very low level. But through the dedication of our staff, we have been able to achieve this within 3 years. With care and compassion, these children were able to correct their mistakes. They are not truly offenders. They were directed here due to certain social circumstances. We are shaping their lives and sending them back prepared. We request the Courts and Judicial Service Commission to consider sending more such children who can be rehabilitated through education.
The National Dengue Control Unit states that a high number of sites that have the potential to become mosquito breeding grounds have been identified in schools, government institutions, factories and religious places. Community medical specialist Dr. Prashila Samiravira stated that these findings were revealed through entomological surveys.
The number of dengue patients reported so far this year stands at 44,480. The National Dengue Control Unit noted that 28 dengue deaths have been reported thus far.
What is the current update regarding the dengue situation?
The number of MOH divisions that have a high risk of dengue transmission has risen to 112. The National Dengue Control Unit states that the highest prevalence of dengue is currently being reported from the Maharagama MOH area. Additionally, the disease is rapidly spreading in Panadura within the Kalutara district. In the Gampaha district, several MOH divisions in Biyagama have been identified as regions where the disease is spreading rapidly. According to health sector data, the current situation is more serious than the conditions experienced in 2024 and 2025. This is the situation in 2024. There was no significant growth of dengue spread in 2025 either. But there has been a rapid increase in the spread of dengue during 2026. Dr. Upuli Pereira, regional epidemiologist, explained the situation in the Gampaha district.
Currently, considering the number of dengue patients in 2026, we are at a level where about 1,000 cases are being reported every week. When looking at the high-risk areas in the district, a number of MOH divisions are involved. There is an extra high risk in MOH divisions such as Biyagama, Kalaniya, Mahara, Wattala and Siduwa. A trend of cases rapidly increasing can also be seen in other MOH divisions as well.
Health authorities point out that a large proportion of dengue patients are school students and the working population. Here are the changes observed in the spread of dengue in Gampaha.
If we look at entomological indices, there is a situation where dengue mosquito breeding sites are being identified in 1 out of every 5 houses inspected. That means 21% of all inspections are positive for dengue-carrying mosquitoes. This is our main challenge at the moment. This means the density of infective mosquitoes in our district has increased significantly. Specifically, the Aedes aegypti percentage in the Biyagama MOH area, which was at 15% last year, has risen to 30% this year. Biyagama is at extreme risk right now. The vector mosquito density has also increased in Kalaniya, Wattala and especially in Siduwa, Katana and Jayala. Our main request right now is for public cooperation to eliminate these mosquito breeding sites.
Colombo, Gampaha, Matara, Galle, Kandy, Ratnapura and Kalutara have been identified as districts with high dengue mosquito presence. Health officials point out that although the government has implemented dengue control programs, the lack of proper public attention makes the elimination of breeding sites difficult. Health authorities urge the public to prioritize cleaning their homes and surroundings this weekend due to the high risk. If not, the National Dengue Control Unit warns that the situation could worsen. Many hospitals, including all major and base hospitals in the Colombo district and hospitals in other high dengue prevalence districts, have reached their maximum capacity for dengue patients. The number of dengue cases reported in the country so far this year exceeds 45,000, which according to the National Dengue Control Unit is a clear increase compared to 2024 and 2025. Although the island-wide dengue control program ended today, health inspectors will continue to implement control programs in high-risk areas. Gampaha District Administrative Public Health Inspector UDN Ratnasiri stated that many public locations have become dengue mosquito breeding sites.
We specifically saw this at religious places. This was an issue during the Wesak Poya and now the Poson Poya is approaching. Currently, 31% of religious places inspected have been identified as positive for dengue larvae. This means if you look at 100 religious places, 31 have mosquito breeding sites. The other culprit is industrial sites, where 21% have been identified as positive for dengue larvae. Everyone in these industrial sites have their respective duties, but no one seems to have the duty of identifying mosquito breeding sites. Then there are government institutions where 11% have been identified as positive for dengue larvae. Looking at schools, 9% are positive. Then houses and private tuition classes also show a rate of over 5%.
Health authorities emphasize that it is the responsibility of all citizens to eliminate all mosquito breeding sites in their homes as well as in public places that they frequent. Are you aware? If you have these symptoms, seek medical advice immediately.
Regarding symptoms, there could be signs of a common viral illness such as high fever, headache or vomiting. There are high-risk groups such as pregnant mothers and small children. Even if the fever has been present for only one day, they must seek treatment. Even if those symptoms are not present, it is very important to visit a qualified doctor if the fever persists for 2 days.
Well, Umitra, I think you, I and many of us Sri Lankans have been on the upcountry railway line, which is considered one of the most scenic and picturesque railway journeys in the world. But, Umitra, can a natural disaster be allowed to halt a country's progress?
Certainly not, Krishan.
Yes, now although Cyclone Ditwa caused severe damage to our country's railway system, Sri Lanka Railways is currently working with great dedication to swiftly reconstruct most of these damaged tracks.
Now, as a result of their commitment, the Podimanike train arrived in Badulla from Nanuoya today, marking the resumption of a train journey that had been abruptly halted for 6 months.
On the 26th of November 2025, Cyclone Ditwa caused severe damage to the upcountry railway line. Consequently, train services were initially limited to Badulla, after which the Sri Lanka Railways worked diligently to restore the track up to Ambevilla. Today marks the second phase of this restoration as the train service between Badulla and Nanuoya resumed. This was a result of months of tireless day and night work by Sri Lanka Railways employees. At 9 a.m. today, the Podimanike train made its journey from Nanuoya to Badulla with the pride of having courageously faced the challenges of Mother Nature.
අද ඉඳලා අපිට සතුටයි මේ රේල් එක මේ අඩු පෝස්ට් එක ගන්න පුළුවන් නේ බස් එක නැතුව ඒක මේ ලංකාව මිනිස්සු මේ රජයට ඇසුති කරනවා ගොඩක් කාලේ මේ අපි ට්‍රේන් එක යන්න අමාරු වෙන්නේ ඉතියේ දැන් හොඳට දිනවා දැන් සතුටුයි. We are very excited because we go in this train and it's the new part, no? We travel to Ella. It's the first time we go in this train and I think it's a new experience. So it's a wonderful experience. I've never seen any ribbon cutting happening in a station and I'm glad I'm here today for that. We saw the minister also talking about the same and congratulations and I'm so happy I'm here in this moment. Thank you.
Cyclone Ditwa caused massive damage to about 15 kilometers of track from Ambewala to Nanoya. Thanks to the immense effort of our railway workers, even though it took a little over 6 months, we were able to successfully complete this task. The greatest challenge posed by nature was the destruction of nearly 170 locations along the upcountry railway line. Within a short period of 6 months, the engineers of Sri Lanka Railways, under the leadership of Minister Bimal Ratnayaka and the President, all involved contracting agencies and especially the MBR organisation, have collectively carried out a massive operation to restore the Hatton-Nanoya Badulla railway line to its former glory.
Starting today, trains are scheduled to operate from Nanoya to Badulla at 9 am and 2:30 pm and from Badulla at 9 am and 3 pm, with the Uttarattamanike and Podimanike trains being deployed for this purpose. Meanwhile, the Northern Railway line from Methavachia to Mana, which was also damaged by Cyclone Ditwa, has also been restored. The Railway Department announced that train operations from Methavachia to Mana will commence very soon. A test train was operated on this route yesterday at a speed of 100 km per hour. With the annual feast of the Mother Church in Mana scheduled to begin next week, it is expected that this route will be opened before the festival. The section of the upcountry railway line from Haliala to Udunuwara was also severely damaged by Cyclone Ditwa. Our correspondent reported that it has been fully restored within a few months and is now ready for train operations.
In more local news, a 3-month grace period has been granted for vehicles manufactured without seatbelts to enter the expressway. The chairman of the National Council on Road Safety, Manjula Kularatna, stated that for all other vehicles, wearing seatbelts while travelling on the expressway is mandatory from today. He further said that motorists and passengers failing to comply with this will not be allowed to enter the expressway. Meanwhile, the Colombo National Hospital states that although retired State Intelligence Chief Suresh Saleh is not consuming food, he is being continuously provided with nutritional supplements. A hospital spokesperson said that he is receiving the necessary nutritional supplements via intravenous injections and feeding tubes. The Colombo National Hospital spokesperson noted that Suresh Saleh's health condition is currently not at a critical level. Treatment is continuing under the supervision of specialist doctors.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that Suresh Saleh has only refused the intake of food through his mouth.
He is refusing to eat food. If he eats food, it will be good for him. However, although he refuses to take food through his mouth, at the National Hospital we are providing nutrition through IV and also through a nasogastric tube. This is because he has refused to eat food through his mouth. He has not refused the provision of nutrition through other methods. Normally, after fasting for about 12 to 13 days, he cannot remain in that condition. No criminal is ever going to volunteer information willingly. Investigative officers are well versed in a wide range of legal and formal methods to extract that information. Is he the first person in the world to go on a hunger strike? Is he the first to try and conceal information or refuse to provide passwords? He is simply the first to do so in Sri Lanka. If Saleh cared about his wife and children, he would just provide the information. But that is not what he is thinking about. In reality, he is waiting on the Rajapaksas. He isn't hiding things for his family. These crimes were committed through him, not for Saleh to become president. It was for another team to become the president. The bomb attack happened on the 21st of April. Gotabaya Rajapaksa announced his candidacy for the presidency on the 23rd of April. If you're going to commit a crime, you'd think you'd have a better plan. But this is clearly just a big part of the drama he's been assigned to perform. Rajapaksas would use the people who helped them the most and even their wife and child to cover up their crimes. The Rajapaksas are a truly truly ruthless political group, using people for their criminal interest and discarding them whenever it suits them. If Saleh and his associates hadn't been busy planning bombings, hosting parties for Zahran and paying them salaries, they wouldn't have had to live in a cell. They could have lived an ordinary life. This was all part of the Rajapaksa's sinister project. The Sri Lankan military, specifically the performance of the Tri-Forces during the war, had previously earned international recognition for how they managed to defeat such a major militant organization. But right now within that system were people like Saleh. It is not that he joined the military because of the Rajapaksas, but the Rajapaksas exploited people like him for their own evil political agendas. The question is, what does it say about Sri Lanka when the heads of military intelligence were people allegedly involved in the deaths of 278 innocent people and the destruction of our entire economy, all just to secure a government for the Rajapaksas? This is why I said that the Rajapaksas destroyed everything good that existed in this country during their rule, and they are continuing to do the same even now that they lost power.
ආර්ථිකයක් සහ මුලින්ම විනාශ කරපු පුද්ගලයෝ අපේ ලංකාවේ හමුදා බුද්ධාංශයේ හිටියා කිව්වම ඒක හොඳයිද? ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ රාජපක්ෂලා කියන්නේ හොඳ දෙයක් තිබුණා නම් ලංකාවේ ඒ හොඳ සියල්ල විනාශ කරා තමන්ගේ පාලනයේදී පරදිලත් දැන් ඒක කරනවා.
Meanwhile, Lawyers for Truth and Justice states that former President Ranil Wickremesinghe cannot escape responsibility for the payment of 2 salaries to Sugishwara Bandara, who served as the private secretary to former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
We are now led to question whether the agitation by people like Sugishwara Bandara and their attempts to create non-existent problems in society is driven by the pain of losing the double salaries they received as bribes from Ranil Wickremesinghe and Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Is this why they have taken to the streets, spreading lies and trying to manufacture crisis? We have seen how Ranil Wickremesinghe told the people that tomorrow would be harder than today and the next week even harder than tomorrow, forcing the public to tighten their belts. They paid 2 salaries to the personal secretaries of Gotabaya Rajapaksa and in addition provided them with ample opportunities to misuse state property and vehicles. We need to investigate whether Ranil Wickremesinghe allowed this same phenomenon to occur for the remaining 97 people referred to as his advisors.
ඉතුරු 97 දෙනාටත් සිද්ධ කරාද කියන පරීක්ෂණය සොයා බලන්න ඕන.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that if there is any political influence in the enforcement of the law, it can be reported to the courts and justice can be secured. The Prime Minister made these remarks after meeting the Mahanayaka Theros of the Malbatu and Askiriya chapters.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, who arrived in Kandy, visited the Malbatu Vihara and met the Mahanayaka Thera of the Malbatu chapter, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Siddhartha Sumangala Thera, as well as the Anunayaka Theras of the chapter, Venerable Niyangoda Vijita Siri Thera and Venerable Dibul Kumbure Vimala Dhamma Thera. The Prime Minister later met the Mahanayaka Thera of the Askiri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratna Thera, and also met the Anunayaka of the Askiri chapter, Venerable Naran Panave Ananda Thera.
ඇත්තටම වෙන්නේ නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. ඒතකොට නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනකොට දේශපාලන පරිගැනීම් කියලා ඒ නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වීම තුලින් බලපෑමකට ලක් වෙන පිරිස කියනවා. ඉතින් ඒක අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේනේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙන කියන්න දෙයක් නැහැනේ. මේක උසාවියට යන දේවල් විමර්ශන වෙනවා. ඒතකොට ඒ විමර්ශන වලදී ඒගොල්ලෝගේ පැත්ත කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලෝ වැරදි කළා නැත්නම් නිවැරදි නම් දේශපාලන පරිගැනීමක් නම් මේ සියල්ලම උසාවියට කියන්න. ඒකට උසාවියෙන් බේරයි.
Weather first.
And in your weather update tonight, the Met Department says that showers or thunder showers will occur in several areas across the island.
Stevin Machado is ready to bring us the latest weather update. Stevin?
Yes, thank you, Omitra and Krishan. Now, the Department of Meteorology says that several spells of showers will occur in the western Sabaragamuwa, northwestern provinces, as well as in the districts of Gaul, Matra, Kandy and Nora Elia. Now, showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in the Uva province as well as in the eastern province. Meanwhile, showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in the sea areas off the coast, extending from Chiloe to Matarwa, Colombo and Galle.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
2 countries, 2 degrees within 4 years. Call ACBT.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
සිසිරය අවසන් වෙලා අනුරා වැහි ඇදහැලෙනකොට ඉපල්වේ ගිහින් තිබුණු අතු නිල්ලෙන් පිරී යනවා. එතකොට මුළු පරිසරයම හරියට hina වෙනවා වගේ. හීතලේ කාලතරණය කරනකොට ඉපල් වෙච්ච අත්තක් කවදාවත් ආයෙත් දළු දාන්න හිතන්නවත් නැතුව ඇති.
මට ලැප්ටොප් එකක් ගන්න ඒ කාලේ සල්ලි තිබෙත් නැහැ. දැන් සල්ලි ඇත්තෙත් නැහැ. ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් සතුටුයි මේ කරපු උදව්ව ගැන.
දිට්වා සුණු විසුණු කළ ඇගේ අනාගතය ජයගන්න ගම්මැද්දෙන් ලැප්ටොප් පරිගණකයක්. අපි අත දිගු කළේ ඇයට පමණක් නොවේ. හදවත් සතුටින් පිරී ගිය හෙටක් වෙනුවෙන් ගොඩනගමු අපි අලුත් රටක්. ගම්මැද්ද Rebuild and Resilience.
Let's now take a look at the latest developments in the Middle East. Now, less than 24 hours after reopening the Strait of Hormuz, Iran once again says it is closing the strait to all vessels, accusing the US and Israel of violating the ceasefire.
Iran cited Israel's attacks on southern Lebanon that have killed at least 32 people since dawn for the reason for the closure. Tinal Tilakratna brings you the very latest on this matter. Tinal.
Thank you, Krishan and Omitra. Now, the Strait of Hormuz was reopened once again yesterday after the US and Iran came into an agreement to end the war. Now, however, today, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy issued a strict warning to all vessels saying, quote, "Do not approach the Strait of Hormuz, otherwise your security will be jeopardized," unquote. Now, interestingly, US Vice President J.D. Vance contradicted this claim by telling the foreign media that the Strait of Hormuz remains fully open despite Iran saying otherwise. Now, Vance said the US does not see any evidence that Iranians are closing down the Strait of Hormuz, adding that 60 million barrels of oil passed the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. Now, let's take a look at some other developments in this conflict.
Analysts say the deal between Iran and the United States was always fragile and tortuous in the making, adding that there are signs it is unraveling already. The partial reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil passes, was the principal achievement of the Memorandum of Understanding and a key priority for the United States seeking to avoid a global economic crisis. Despite the warning of a closure from Iran, US Central Command says commercial ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz increased today and that 55 merchant ships transited. In a statement on X posted after the Iranian military's announcement that it is closing the strait, CENTCOM said, quote-unquote, "Commercial ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz increased on the 20th of June as US forces continued operating in the general area to support freedom of navigation." Despite the reclosure of the Strait of Hormuz, Pakistan's foreign ministry says talks will be held in Switzerland tomorrow and will be attended by US and Iranian representatives. Mediators from Pakistan and Qatar will also attend, with Pakistan facilitating the process as mediator. The aim of the talks is advancing the understandings reached in the 14-point Memorandum of Understanding. It comes after talks in Switzerland, due to be attended by Vice President J.D. Vance, were postponed earlier this week, with the White House saying the logistics have not been simple or predictable. Earlier, Hezbollah-linked Lebanese media reported that the talks had been suspended due to Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon. US Vice President J.D. Vance has said he expects to travel to Switzerland for talks with Iran soon. In an interview with Fox News, Vance confirmed that talks to end the war in Iran are possible on Sunday. US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, are also in Switzerland for negotiations. The Swiss Foreign Ministry has said in a statement that Switzerland will continue to provide a discreet and reliable setting at Bergenstock to facilitate discussions on implementing the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran. The ministry said no further details would be disclosed about the participants or the content of the talks, citing confidentiality. Meanwhile, Pakistani Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi is due to hold talks with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi during his visit to Tehran. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei said Naqvi's visit, which was announced earlier, is part of Islamabad's ongoing efforts related to negotiations between Iran and the United States. Former US President Barack Obama, who signed his country's last nuclear deal with Iran, has criticized the Trump administration's deal with Iran in an interview with NBC. He questioned the rationale for the Trump administration's war on Iran. The former president said that under the Iran nuclear deal negotiated during his administration, quote-unquote, Iran had agreed not to develop nuclear weapons.
I am very happy to see a ceasefire, and I'm hopeful that it holds. We've now fought a war, spent billions and billions of dollars, put an enormous strain on our military. A lot of people have died, and it feels like we're back where we were before we started the war, except maybe a little bit worse off.
In a separate front, Iraq's oil ministry is working to restore production to the pre-war level within 2 months, following the sharp decline caused by the US-Israel war on Iran, according to the Iraqi news agency. Iraqi oil production fell by approximately 60% due to the war, dropping to 1.3 million barrels per day from 3.3 million barrels before the war began.
US President Donald Trump unveiled a new Boeing 7478 jet for Air Force One that the Qatari government donated last year as an unconditional gift to the United States. The US military has finished modifications to the luxury jumbo jet, which has been valued at estimated of $400 million.
US President Donald Trump on Friday unveiled a newly refurbished presidential aircraft at Joint Base Andrews, taunting its size, luxury and updated red, white and blue paint scheme as the Air Force prepares the jet for service. In May 2025, the Qatari royal family donated the luxury Boeing 7478 to the US Department of Defense to be used as part of a fleet of planes dubbed Air Force One, which provides air transport for the president. The luxury jet is intended to bridge the gap between the two aging modified Boeing 747-200s, which have flown as Air Force One since 1990, and 2 new planes Boeing is retrofitting that won't be done for roughly 2 more years. When news of the gift of the plane was revealed last year, it sparked backlash from both sides of the aisle, including from some Trump allies. Critics argued that accepting such a high-value donation posed a conflict of interest and may be unconstitutional. While federal law indicates that US officials can only accept gifts under $480, the White House has insisted that accepting the aircraft is legal and pledged that it will be donated to Trump's presidential library once he leaves office.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Now, the Sri Lanka Public Interest Environmental Law Conference 2026 was held in Colombo, bringing together leading legal and environmental experts.
The Centre for Environmental Justice and the Bar Association of Sri Lanka jointly hosted the Sri Lanka Public Interest Environmental Law Conference 2026, bringing together legal experts and environmental advocates to discuss the country's pressing environmental challenges. The conference focused extensively on the severe environmental challenges currently faced by Sri Lanka, sustainable development, and how the legal framework can be effectively utilized to protect the environment.
For the very first time, the court has judicially developed a definition to the term proper disposal. Proper disposal of municipal waste as opposed to mere dumping of municipal waste. So now you have a standard that can be applied, not only in Colombo, but in all other areas of the country. Secondly, it highlights duties and responsibilities of local government institutions, and it has concluded through legal reasoning that if a municipal authority or a Pradeshia Sabha were to dump in excess of 10 tons of garbage every day, it amounts to a prescribed activity.
Environmental issues are no longer merely scientific or policy questions. They are increasingly questions of law, governance, accountability, and justice. Environmental law seeks to strike a careful balance between development and conservation, between private rights and the public interest, and perhaps most importantly, between the needs of the present generation and the rights and interests of the generations yet to come.
The event brought together legal professionals, policymakers, and environmental specialists for in-depth dialogue on safeguarding natural resources and ensuring long-term environmental sustainability.
Sri Lanka's first ever women-only pickleball tournament, Dinking Divas 2026, got underway today in Colombo.
Dinking Divas 2026, Sri Lanka's first ever pickleball tournament exclusively for women, began today in Colombo. The two-day tournament features doubles competition across multiple categories designed for different skill levels and age groups. The event aims to promote greater participation of women in pickleball, particularly encouraging beginners and women over the age of 40 to take up the rapidly growing sport. Sirasa TV is the official media partner of the tournament. And in sports news, as we all know, football fever has officially taken over the globe as all eyes are glued to the pitch as the 2026 FIFA World Cup heats up.
Tinal Tilakaratna joins us with more details.
Thank you guys. Now, the history was made on home soil as the US sank Australia to march into the round of 32 alongside a victorious Paraguay. Brazil's masterclass forced Haiti out of the tournament. Now, Morocco secured a tense win ahead of tonight's massive Netherlands-Sweden clash. Let's dive straight into today's action-packed sports lineup.